I think I'm okay. It looks like I'm back. I don't know what happened there. It looked like the app crashed for a minute, but as I was saying, I'm starting something new today. Um, my daughter's piano class is getting ready to start back, and every Thursday she has her piano class, and so I thought this would be a productive way for me to spend the time I'm waiting for her in the truck. And I'm going to call it This and That Thursdays. We have Bible Q&A live on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we encourage everybody to uh, subscribe right down there and click that notification bell so that when we go live on Monday nights at 7 p.m., you'll get notified of that. And when we go live on Thursdays for This and That Thursday, while I'm waiting on my daughter at her piano class, we can spend this time talking together also. And what I want to do with this time, like I said, I don't have anything prepared and don't have a set topic to talk about. And because of the setting, I can probably see your comments pop up on the screen there if you make comments. But because of the setting, it'd be more difficult for me to respond to comments live, depending on how they come up on the screen. So I thought what we would do is I'll post these videos on Thursdays, and in these Thursday this and that videos, just ask you what it is that you'd like to discuss on our Bible Q&A live Monday nights. So you can use the comment section below to post your comments, your questions there, and then we'll follow up on that with a fuller discussion on Monday nights. But you remember a couple of weeks ago, I did an episode of Bible Q&A answering the question, what is realized eschatology? And we talked about that. And like I said in that video, I didn't even touch the hem of the garment when it came to really dealing with is. See what happened there. I don't know if cutting off the truck interrupted the video or not. Okay, we're still good. So I answered that question on what realized eschatology is, and presented a couple of objections to this idea of realized eschatology. Realized meaning it's already happened. Eschatology meaning last things. They're called extreme preterist, or not even really full preterist, but I think extreme preterist would be the more correct term. But in answering that and discussing that, well, I've started getting some replies back from those who hold the view of realized eschatology, and they're wanting me to have a debate with them. And you know that subject has been debated and debated. There's been numerous debates on that subject. A congregation down in Florida, Bellevue Church of Christ, I believe they're in Pensacola, Florida. They did an entire lectureship on that subject, and it's a good book. If you want to look up that Bellevue lectureship book on, they're dealing with realized eschatology. I don't recall the title of it, and if you know that, go ahead and post it in the comments. But if the title of that is realized eschatology or the AD 70 doctrine, or it'll be something like that. But they did an entire numerous debates. There's been a lot of writing. I've got writings going back to the 70s when they were dealing with Max King and Okay, well, maybe I need to start calling this technical difficulty Thursdays. Hopefully we won't have this kind of overheating problems and things like that with future episodes of This and That Thursdays. But as I was saying, once I did that answer on realized eschatology and responded to some of the things that they teach, well, I started getting comments from them and challenging me to debate. And as I was saying, that has been debated and debated and debated. It's been debated many times by many different people. Now, on the realized eschatology side, they've got a couple of people that really do the majority of their debating for them. But
those guys, really, maybe two that I can think of, that will debate other people, two, maybe three, and they've debated, several other people. So there's been lots of debates done, a lectureship done, one lectureship that I know of, maybe more that I don't know of, but so I'm not really interested. If you're a realized eschatology proponent, feel free to comment in the comment section on these videos, and I'll respond to your comments. But I'm not really interested in having a debate for you. I'm not really interested in, I'm certainly, absolutely, in no way interested in having you come here and talk to our people here. No way that's happening. That's not happening. I can guarantee you that if you were to try to come and teach here, that our elders would meet you at the door and they would say, you're not teaching that here. And that's really what needs to happen. These debates and all these things that, and maybe even what I'm doing here. Like I said, I was answering the question about realized eschatology. So I hope I'm not contributing to the problem in what I'm doing here. But, really, I think the way to handle these, expose what they teach, definitely. Show that it's wrong. Show that it doesn't match what the Bible says. Definitely, we need to do that. But, instead of giving an audience to these people that are teaching false doctrine like that and have made it clear. Now, I'm all for having debates when those in the debate have an open and honest mind. I tell people all the time, if I'm wrong and you can persuade me to you show me from the scriptures where you're presenting the correct view on this, I'll change. Well, they've made it very clear because their position has been refuted time and time and time again, and all they do is they just pivot to something. They don't even answer the objections. They just pivot to something else. Well, that's just not honest. And so I'm not interested in debating people that have demonstrated already that they have their mind made up about their position, and it doesn't matter whether you expose it, whether you refute it, whether you answer it. It doesn't matter because they're just going to ignore it. But I will ask this question. And go ahead and answer the question in the comment. Make your comments and things on the videos, and I'll answer those. But somebody posted a comment on that episode of What is Realized Eschatology, and they said in that comment, how many resurrections are there? Now, I don't really know what the intent of the question was, but I do know the answer to the question. So how many resurrections are there? I'll ask that to the proponents of realized eschatology and see how they answer. Because in Revelation chapter 20, verses 5 and 6, it says, those who are of the first resurrection have no fear of the second death. Now, realized eschatology teaches that there was just a general resurrection when Christ came back in AD 70 on the destruction of Jerusalem, that the resurrection happened at that time. Well, so how many resurrections are there? Because that passage says that there's a first resurrection, and those that are of the first resurrection have no fear of the second death. Well, when you use words like first and second, well, that implies something, even if it's not stated. For example, a first resurrection implies a second resurrection. So that would clearly imply that there's two resurrections, the first and the second. And you could ask the same question, how many deaths are there? Well, there's two. There's the first death and the first resurrection, because that's what resurrection is, it's being raised from the dead. So there's the first death and the first resurrection from the first death, and then there is the second death and the resurrection from the second death. So which one are you talking about when you say that the resurrection occurred on AD 70? Are you talking about the first resurrection or the second resurrection? Are you talking about the first death or the second death? I won't get I won't get into the application of those phrases until they answer the question there. Now you asked me for a debate. No, I'm not going to debate you. I'm not going to have you here to debate for the people here who, for the most part, people here have no idea what you teach. And I'd be perfectly fine to keep it that way because what you teach is error. And I'm not really all that interested in coming there to you to debate you in your place. Especially at my expense. There's no way I'm going to spend a dime to go and debate you. So I'm not really interested in doing that either. So no, I'm not going to bring you here to debate, and I'm really not all that interested in coming there to you to debate. But if you want to answer my questions, my objections to the realized eschatology doctrine, well, go ahead and now do me a favor and don't, like you are prone to do, don't post on my videos, like if you go back in last week's episode with the Catholic doctrines that we've been looking at and some of the Catholic viewers, and I appreciate the Catholic viewers in the audience responding to the videos and engaging in discussion, and I appreciate that, but please, don't post these long dissertations that people, typically, I have trouble reading through them, so I know that the average viewer is not going to read through those comments. But if you make just a short, clear statement, give a short, clear answer, and we can go back and forth with that, I think people will read through that. But when somebody opens a comment and they got the paragraph there and then it says read more, I would say that very few people click that read more button and want to keep reading the comment. So please keep your responses short. As some like to say, keep it pithy. Keep it short and to the point. Now, we can go back and forth with several short, concise statements, but when you post a long, rambling dissertation, people just aren't going to read that. So, please, answer the questions, ask questions. You ask any questions you want to, I'll answer them. But no, I'm not really interested in having a debate. Last week's episode on Catholicism, and I had asked the question about the Pope's changing of the Church's position, the Catholic Church's position on the death penalty, and we had a good discussion on that, several comments. I just saw yesterday on a program where they had it was the host was Catholic, and he disagreed with the Pope's, and it was what the Pope just said is a change to the Catholic Catechism. He instituted a change to the Catechism. So, he wasn't just giving his opinion, he was making a change to the doctrine of the Catholic Church. And so the Catholic host of the program and the Catholic apologist that was the guest on the program made it clear that Catholics can disagree with the Pope. Well, I just don't I don't understand how you can say, wouldn't that be the same thing as me reading a passage? Well, I guess it would be the same thing like denominations do with the doctrine of baptism. You can read over and over and over again in the New Testament where you have to be baptized to be a Christian, and yet there's a lot of people claiming to be Christians that say you don't have to be baptized. If Catholics believe that the Pope speaks by the inspiration of God, and he says something, he institutes doctrine, which Catholics believe that the Pope is authorized to institute doctrine. Well, then how can you then come along and say, well, I disagree with him? I don't agree with that. Well, I don't understand how that works in the Catholic Church. So maybe you can explain that to me. Now, I will say that some people have even made comments to me that, man, you're really getting after the Catholics. Well, that's not my intent. Certainly, that's not my intent, is to be so to speak, getting after the Catholics. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's just that the Catholic viewers are posting comments on the videos, and I'm responding to those comments. They're very active in the comment section. Go through and read those. I don't. The only reason I ever hide comments or reject comments is if, and please, keep this in mind. If you post a comment with a link to another video, on very rare occasions will I post those comments. I almost always delete those comments because I don't want people coming to my channel and watching my videos and then in the comments being directed to another video teaching something that I don't agree with or that is not biblical. So if you post a comment with a link to another video or a link to a website or something of that nature, most frequently I'm not going to post it. Now, I have done it on a couple of occasions, either because it was interesting and I thought it made a good contribution to the discussion on the video, or it was a video that I thought was teaching the truth. And so, I went ahead and I posted it. A lot of times I don't even do that because I just don't want people being directed to other channels, because there's no way I can know what all's on that channel. There's no way I can go to those channels and I can say, okay, well, I agree with everything on here, so I'm okay directing people to that channel. That's just very hard to do. So I just typically don't do it. On very rare occasions I will for whatever reason, but typically, if there's a link to another video in the comment, I'm not going to post it. So I will delete a comment for that reason, or if the comment is just belligerent, has nothing to do, contributes nothing to the discussion, it is just, like these dingalings that get in the live chat and start, just riffing off, all kinds of crazy stuff. If it's a comment like that, then yeah, I'm going to delete it. But if it contributes to the discussion, then I'll post it. Even comments from people like Marty, who likes to call me an idiot and a moron, well, I think that contributes to the discussion, because honest, good-hearted people can read that and they can say, well, obviously this person's not able to defend what they believe because he's, degraded into name calling now. So I will go ahead and, if you call me a name, call me fatso or idiot or moron or what, I don't care. It doesn't affect me and it doesn't hurt me. I'll post that because, sometimes it's good for people to see how those who are trying to defend a false position will degrade into name calling and personal ad hominem attacks. So yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll post those. But if it's something that's just clearly just a troll that is just wanting to post something stupid, then yeah, I'll delete that. But most times, if you post a comment asking a question, making a comment on something I've said, wanting clarification on something, I'll post those. So I have been spending a lot of time on Catholic doctrine, on Catholic teaching, and that's okay. It's not that I'm trying to pick on Catholics. It's just the Catholic viewers have been very active in the comments, and so I'm replying to their comments. So I do feel like I need to move on from that. I need to move on to other things. So I don't want to get on, people say, well, he's on his hobby horse or whatever. I don't want to do that. I want this to be a program that applies to everybody, that everybody gets something out of, and where when people see me posting a new video, they say, well, there's Norm bashing the Catholics again. I don't want to do that. So I am going to move on. Certainly I welcome your comments, welcome your questions, welcome your input, but I am going to move on from some of these discussions having to do with the Catholic Church in particular. So just to wrap it up, I'm going to start this new series. If I may have to make accommodations for my phone overheating in the truck for whatever reason it did that. But I'm going to start doing this this and that Thursdays, where I'll just talk about whatever's on my mind at the time, and then we can get comments and questions and inputs in the comment section to pick up with on the Monday night Bible Q&A. So thanks for watching. Be sure to share the videos. Get your friends to like and share the videos, to subscribe and click that notification bell. So when it's time to get together for Bible Q&A for our live Bible class on Monday nights at 7 p.m., you'll get. Well, whatever. Post that down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.